Hey everybody, welcome to Valentine TV. Um, I decided to do this video, which comes from that surprise witness. Some know as BJ Investigates. Her husband is gonna come up and talk to and tell us exactly what happened. And the reason I'm doing this now, because I know people tired of hearing about that line at the Diddy trial. But listen, I've been watching BJ also, and I've heard talk to her fiance, um, who is of color. He's not African American, but he's of another nationality, and he's gonna say it how he's because I couldn't picture BJ being, as they would say, racist. No, no, and she's about to marry somebody that's not, you know. Anywho, hey Deborah, just making me recording right now. But yeah, I've been watching BJ. She is not racist, y'all. So I just saw this video and I just thought I'd play it, even though we tired of hearing about that freaking Diddy line, okay? But we're gonna get her side. We got everybody else's side. But yeah, I've been watching BJ for like 2 years, and I met a fiance. I don't know what nationality he is, but he's the one that wear the thing on the head. But anyway, you'll meet him, you'll see him. And he somebody gypped him out of $400, but he didn't even argue about it. Okay, yeah, and yeah. Anyway, let's go. Let's go. Just a minute. My phone doing something over there.
It's fine, whatever the day of the week it is, whenever you watch.
Sorry, I did that. Dang it. Hold it 1 second. 1 second. My sister.
This. I did want to give you an update about the video, the documentary that I'm working on pertaining to the line drama, is what they're calling it now. But I mean, I would call it abuse and harassment and lying. But look, listen, the documentary is coming out soon. Okay. So I did have a little bit of an update that I wanted to provide now before the full documentary comes out. And it is Prim's first hand account of the incident. Some of you may have heard me state earlier and previously that I had a rightful spot in the line because specifically Prim, my fiance, was standing in the spot. And then when I got there, he gave me his spot. He had a rightful spot. He also then paid to move further up in the spot, which was not the way that I would do things, certainly not the way I would set a lineup. Okay, so that ain't the way I would do things. But this was the last day of trial after they had been doing it this way for 2 months. They had been doing it this way for 8 weeks. Okay. So I don't like the system. I think they need to have a new system. I think they need to let more people from the public into the courtroom. I mean, there's a lot of criticisms I have with this system. However, when in Rome or when in New York, you gotta do what the New Yorkers do. Line sitters have been a part of the culture in New York for a long time. Again, not my favorite thing. Not my favorite thing, but I didn't make this system. When you go to New York, you got to do what the New Yorkers do, or you're not going to get in the courtroom. A large part of the incidents that occurred happened when I wasn't there because Prim was there. So instead of taking my word for it, why would you need to take secondhand information? You can take it directly from the person who was there during the times that I wasn't even yet there. And in particular, why Prem decided that he wanted to sit and make this story is because, and you'll hear it from him, is because he saw some lies and some behaviors that were being based on race whenever it really actually didn't actually have anything at all whatsoever to do with race. Again, don't take my word for it. I will now leave the floor to him.
Like they had said that BJ said something like the lady had told, oh yeah, somebody on here, one of the reports, somebody said BJ said that our kind couldn't read, right? When it was I think her fiance is trying to say Armand, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's a YouTuber named whatever he said the name is. But it was still African American man that was reading the papers out from the court. So so what the lady said about BJ saying that we couldn't read is she just contradicted her own self because it was a melanated man reading the papers in the first place, right? Anyway, BJ was just telling her the law. That was it. She's she shouldn't have said nothing.
So that he can tell you his observations.
Hey guys, my name is Prem. I am BJ's fiance.
Yeah.
I'm going to be talking about the final day of the P. Diddy trial and the events that went on at the trial. I was not planning on talking about the trial or anything that went on because I haven't covered it at all. But in the last few days, I've seen videos come out that have made the events of that trial about racism. As a person who's had to deal with racism throughout their life and have had a family member who was nearly beaten to death due to racism, this topic is very important to me. When people take the topic of racism and start applying it in circumstances where there was no racism, it dilutes the conversation and takes away from the conversation. For that reason, I will be telling you what went on that day, and then you guys decide, based on your own opinions, what you think. Was it really racism or other things at play? So this whole story begins on Tuesday when BJ and I were sitting in the overflow room.
As soon as I get comfortable, something happens. But anyway, as far as Prem goes, he's the type that stays away from negative energy, burns sage, or whatever they burn. But yeah, I mean, he's real, like he's talking right now. That's the way he talks, and he has his own channel. I haven't been to it because I don't know what they're talking about. But wait a minute, y'all. I'm gonna have to. What do I do? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, yeah. I think I know. I think I sort of figured it out. Sort of. I cleaned it. To me, I cleaned it, but I'm gonna have to like start it over.
Hello, everybody. How are you
Okay,
doing this fine?
Let me get back to Prem, y'all. Okay. All right. Just 1 second, please. All right. We just may have to. Wait a minute. All right, that's me.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing this fine? Whatever the day of the week it is, whenever you watch this. I did want to give you an update about the video, the documentary that I'm working on pertaining to the line drama, is what they're calling it now. But I mean, I would call it abuse and harassment and lying. But look, listen, the documentary is coming out soon. Okay. So I did have a little bit of an update that I wanted to provide now before the full documentary comes out. And it is Prem's first hand account of the incident. Some of you may have heard me state earlier and previously that I had a rightful spot in the line because specifically Prem, my fiance, was standing in the spot. And then when I got there, he gave me his spot. He had a rightful spot. He also then paid to move further up in the spot, which was not the way that I would do things.
$400 he paid, y'all. $400 he paid because he asked this person that was up, because the line person, he'll say her name and all that stuff, so I'm not, because I may get it wrong. But he talked to her. She said, okay, you number 11, even though he was there earlier to go on up. But she let her friends came and they got in this little group. And then he saw her write down names before she wrote his name. And then she told him that he was number 11. So he's the type that will not argue, as you can tell. No. Okay, so number 11. So he called BJ, told her she needed to be there like by 7, because the people had told her that people usually start showing up at 7. So she came on, and then they was telling the officers, somebody was telling BJ that she couldn't stay there. She couldn't stand there. No, the friends was trying to get up in there. Okay, that's why you can't put anybody in charge of seating somewhere that's very like crucial to get in, and everybody the world wants to see. You cannot put people in charge, that has a lot of friends that can gonna be there, and they don't know how to tell their friends no and follow the rules. Okay, I mean, that man gave that person $400, and he let him move up one in the line, right? Because he wanted to make sure BJ got in the courtroom, not him, her. He didn't go in, right? He may have went in the overflow, I don't know, but he didn't go in the courtroom. But he wanted to make sure BJ got in there because she been reporting on it all this time. And I watch her, I watch Ticket, I watch whoever I want, right? But anyway, I knew she wasn't racist, first of all. I knew that was a lie. And so, and then the woman that's seating people, he gonna say a name, y'all may know. Then he gonna say the African American man or melanated man, but I say black because I'm black. The black guy that was reading the whatever that came from the court about when they was gonna do the verdict. I mean the verdict, yeah. So he was reading and reading and reading and reading like that. And then so BJ said, well, then she gave her lawyer input because she worked at a lawyer's office, right? So she gave her the little input that says, well, yeah, he was found not guilty, but then that's up to the prosecution and the defense and in different areas to see if he'll get out today or not. So that made the pro Diddy woman mad. And so she started going off on BJ. So the lady snatches the paper out of the man's hand that was reading it. And so, and then told BJ this ain't 1938 and she ain't got no business in there because that's their culture, all of that kind of stuff. It was just, man, that was crazy. That was crazy, and that lady, she know who she is. And I know she wrong. I wasn't even there. And I'm still say she wrong.
Certainly not the way I would set a lineup. Okay, so that.
Oh, yeah. I got 50 things hooked to this one internet, y'all. And I apologize. But I promise I cleaned this thing out. The best, let me see, shoot, wait a minute. Wait. Okay, it stayed up here. But I don't want to keep, dang it, I'm going to start over. They changed the buttons around today.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing this fine? Whatever the day of the week it is, whenever you watch this.
Wait. Let's do it this way.
You can take it directly from the person who was there during the times that I wasn't even yet there. And in particular, why Prem decided that he wanted to sit and make this story is because, and you'll hear it from him, is because he saw some lies and some behaviors that were being based on race whenever it really actually didn't actually have anything at all whatsoever to do with race. Again, don't take my word for it. I will now leave the floor to him so that he can tell you his observations.
Hey guys, my name is Prem. I am BJ's fiance. I'm going to be talking about the final day of the P. Diddy trial and the events that went on at the trial. I was not planning on talking about the trial or anything that went on because I haven't covered it at all. But in the last few days, I've seen videos come out that have made the events of that trial about racism. As a person who's had to deal with racism throughout their life and have had a family member who was nearly beaten to death due to racism, this topic is very important to me. When people take the topic of racism and start applying it in circumstances where there was no racism, it dilutes the conversation and takes away from the conversation. For that reason, I will be telling you what went on that day, and then you guys decide, based on your own opinions, what you think. Was it really racism or other things at play? So this whole story begins on Tuesday when BJ and I were sitting in the overflow room at the P. Diddy trial talking to a content creator. I asked that content creator how the
Lord, I can't even see y'all. Well, I can see y'all on my phone. This is a mess. All right, I'm gonna say
line worked, how to get into the main courtroom, and just all the details.
This gonna show me how much patience y'all got. Okay, I'm just kidding. If y'all leave, I wouldn't blame you not one little bit. Dang, y'all. Let me see. I was just trying to do this right here. This is it. That's all I wanted to do. Let's see if it'll pop back on, y'all.
Dang. That content creator told me that you have to get there in the morning, that you have to sometimes pay for a line sitter, and that there is a lot of drama. A lot of people have cliques there that will try to get their friends in, and it takes a lot to get in. He told me that you might have to pay anywhere from $100 to $1,500 to a line sitter, depending on what is going on. So at the end of the night, I decided I would go to the court the following morning so I could stand in line and BJ could have a spot in the courtroom. I woke up at 3 a.m. and instead of meditating, I got ready and went to the courthouse. When I arrived at the courthouse, I saw there was a few people that were unhoused and a few Diddy supporters sitting in line. Those people told me that Diamond was managing a list for all the people that were in line. I went up to Diamond, I gave her my name. I saw that Diamond added my name to the list, but before she added my name, she added a few other people. Instead of fighting with her or arguing with her, wanting to guarantee a spot for BJ in the courtroom, I decided to approach one of the people that was ahead of all these people and ask him if I could buy his spot to move up in the line. That person sold me their spot for $400. I took that person's spot in line and Diamond was made aware. While I sat there, I had great discussions with everyone in line. I even told some of the people that I was saving this spot for my fiance, who was a YouTuber and created videos on the Diddy trial. Around 6 o'clock, I called up BJ and I told her I had secured a spot in the line and that we had a guaranteed spot to get into the courthouse and that she should get there by 7 o'clock because that's what the people in the line told me. Around 7 o'clock, people started arriving at the courthouse. All of a sudden, there started to be about commotion about who was going to be in line, who was there, who was not there. There was this one lady in blue jean jacket that showed up, and that was Diamond's friend. Diamond and her concocted a plan that the line sitter that I paid the money to, she had paid money to him the day before, and that was her spot. Mm-hmm. Instead of arguing and fighting with these people, I stood in line and waited for the marshals to open this line up. Not being in this line the previous days, I didn't know, but when the marshals opened up the line, Diamond and all her friends bunched up into the front and cut me in line. So then we moved to the second part of the line. In that second part of the line, instead of being in the first 11, I was pushed to number 12. At that point, BJ and I were there, and BJ asked me, Prem, you paid for that spot in that line. Why are we back here? Why are you not up there? As I informed her, hey, those people play the system. They cut in front of me. I'm not going to argue with them. If we're number 12, we're number 12. And I truly believe in God. And if God wants us to be in the overflow room, we will end up in the overflow room. And if there's a miracle and God wants you to be in the main room, you will end up in the main room. While we're standing in the line outside, now I see Diamond going up to all her friends and telling them not to let me in front, to not let me move up, that they had secured their spots. I even told the person who cut me that, hey, I'm not going to fight with you. I'm not going to argue with you. You did cut me in line, but that's okay. So we waited in that line, and then the doors opened. When the doors opened, we all went through security. While we were going through security, one of the people, I think his name was Michael, he was held up, and we didn't even know, but when we got to the third line, BJ was put on the number 11 spot. Well, this is where all the drama starts. When he shows up, they all start screaming, they start yelling, and they start berating BJ because they think he should have that number 11 spot.
Scared to stop,
while every single one of them knew that their friends cut me in line, while every single one of them knew that I had paid someone money to be in the first 11 people they were still screaming at BJ that she should get out of the line. They were nasty. They were disgusting. And as I told BJ, hey, the Lord put you in the number 11 spot. You're in the number 11 spot. All these people cut me in line. We didn't fight. We didn't argue. We let them cut. These people were yelling at BJ. She didn't belong. She was privileged. She was a Karen. She should get out of line. They were insulting her. They were berating her. All these people were also yelling at the marshals, telling them that they should kick BJ out of the line, while they all knew that I had paid a line sitter money for a spot in the top 11, that I was there before a lot of those people that were in the top 11. But instead of standing up for me, they wanted to only stand up for their friend. At one point, Diamond tells BJ, there's no way you're going to get into court. And BJ literally said, bitch, please. This went on for a few minutes, and these people would not stop yelling at BJ. At that point, BJ called over a marshal and asked him, can you please tell these people to stop speaking to me? These people were so nasty and so vile. And finally, the marshals came over and said, hey, you know what? We're going to see if we can get 12 people into the court, and we're going to try to get that person into court. At that point, that line ended. All 12 people were able to go up. I left. Once Diddy was found guilty, I got back to the entrance of the court. BJ had asked me to be there because she was scared. She did not know what these people would do. They were so aggressive in the morning. She was really scared for her safety. So I got to the courthouse and I waited right out in the front door. As soon as BJ walked out the front door, I had my camera on. She recorded a 3-minute video, and she said she just wanted to leave and go back to the hotel room. She was still shook up from the morning, and she was fearing for her safety, and she didn't know what anyone was going to do. So instead of making a video, instead of going live, we decided to go back to the hotel. At the hotel, we had a conversation, and the conversation was, hey, you already got a spot in the main courtroom. You went through so much effort and so much abuse. You should be there for the bail hearing. So we decided to go back to the courtroom, and I told her that I would stay with her the entire time until she went to the main courtroom. Once we got to the courtroom, instead of the bail hearing starting at 1, it kept on getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. So we had to go sit in the cafeteria. While in the cafeteria, we met a few new people, and those people we had conversations with. Again, majority of them were Diddy supporters. Majority of them were happy that Diddy won, and it was all cool. No problems, no issues. And then we started to move to the terrace. BJ and I were sitting at the terrace. Then a few other people decided to join us on our table and have a conversation. While talking to those people, Cassie's lawyer filed some documents, and a person brought those documents over to our table, and this kid named Amir started reading those documents. Once we read those documents, BJ said, guys, I think, based on Cassie's letter, if this is true, I don't think he'll get bail today, but we have to wait for the prosecutor's letter. We have to wait for the defense's letter, and that'll decide what really happens. After a little bit more time, another letter came out. This was the prosecutor's letter. Those people, again, brought the prosecutor's letter to our table. Amir, a man of color, started to read that letter. While we were reading that letter, there came a section where the prosecutors were talking about Diddy's acts of violence and everything else that went on the case, and how the judge should take that into account when deciding if he should get bail or not. At that point, some of the Diddy supporters started screaming, no, he's been not found guilty of those. That can't be taken into account. That can't be taken into account. He hasn't been found guilty. BJ said, guys, even though the jury might have found him not guilty, the judge can take evidence that was put into the trial and take that into account and to decide if he's going to grant him bail or not. At that moment, that person became mad and upset and started screaming, no, he's been not found guilty. He's been not found guilty. That can't be taken against him. BJ literally turned around and said, I am not trying to argue this. This is what the law is. This person got so furious and mad that they went and snatched the papers out of the person's hand who was reading them. At that point, BJ said, you're having them read them to you anyway, so go ahead, take them. It doesn't matter. This person decided to yell, you're not part of our community. You're not part of our community. This is only for our community. At that point, I assumed they were talking about the pro-Diddy community. But then that person went to go on to say, this isn't the 1930s. This isn't the 1930s. Trying to imply that BJ was saying that someone of color could not be reading those documents. That was just ridiculous, because the person who was actually reading the documents was a person of color. BJ was not even reading the documents. It was a person of color who was reading the documents. At that point, the person whose hand the papers were snatched out of decided to get up and walk away. BJ and I also decided to get up and remove ourselves from that situation. Both events in the morning, and during lunchtime had nothing to do with racism. The event in the morning was P. Diddy supporters wanting their friends to be in court. And when BJ got one of the spots rightfully, which I had paid for, which I had stood in line before those people for, they were mad and upset. And they were going to do whatever it took, yelling, screaming, name calling to get her out of the line. And it did not work. And then in the afternoon at the cafeteria, it was again, P. Diddy supporters were not happy with the analysis of what the legal documents said. And you know what? When we got into court, the judge decided on those documents the way BJ had interpreted them.
Thank you.
Those people started to make this a race issue again, while a person who was reading the documents was of color. If you want to talk about racism, in my opinion, this person, Sam, was saying that BJ was talking in a black accent, which I think is pretty racist. BJ's Southern accent was made into a black accent. I know a lot of black people, and they have a lot of different accents. To say that a Southern accent is a black accent is pretty sad and racist. Guys, this is truly what happened. Now you get to decide, was it racism or was it P. Diddy supporters mad and upset that they weren't getting their way?
All right, now that sounded more truthful to me as far as the BJ part go, because BJ, yeah, she'll go off if you messing with her. Yeah, she gonna say something slick, but her fiance ain't gonna. No, he'll let BJ know if she ain't right. She'll say, "Come on, honey." But now that sounded right. He told it like it was, and I do believe it. Okay. So whoever the Diddy supporters, it seemed like they was the only one who was anti-Diddy. I don't know. But anyway, I wanted, since everybody on this internet here then told a little story about how it was in the line, and you see how the line pro Diddy line people that was sitting people and they friends, can call you a Karen so darn quick. That like they did Tisa, call her a Karen. She don't like black people, even though she black. Her grandparents black, her mama, daddy black. Her man black. But they don't, whatever. It's whatever. So, because Tisa was like, what? So that means I must not like my mama, my daddy, my grandparents. I must not, because, that'll make you mad. I mean, yeah. But anyway, as you can see, BJ's not racist. Look at her fiance, okay? And, Nope. And I just thought I would let that out because I am for the people. I'm for the people who, like everybody's talking about that one person, and then that person don't get to say nothing. I got you. I'm gonna talk up for you if you're right though. Yeah, I heard Diddy was paying the people, and I want everybody from the sound of my voice, y'all, please hit the subscribe button and the like button, please. I appreciate it so much. To go look at, dang it, I forgot his real name now. Robert. I may have said it earlier in the video. But anyway, the Ratchet TV person. Go to Miss Lowdown's page. Just look up the Ratchet TV, but she call him Rat Face or Rat TV. Something anyway. She got a bunch of stuff on him. Y'all, even pictures of when he put hands and feet, as he liked to say, on his girl. And I didn't even know. And I didn't even know that he worked at a nursing home. And y'all know I love my elderly people. 30 years. Yes, I do. Medication, yes, I love them. And so he used to work at a elderly home. All right. Y'all can go on Miss Lowdown's page and you see the stuff. She'll tell you to. And and he was mingling and tingling with the elderly and got fired and all of that stuff. Y'all know he going to court. I don't know what he going to court for because he did so much stuff. But he's a Diddy. That's all I gotta say. I don't know about the FO part, but the rest of it, he a Diddy. He drove 8. Now I saw this. He drove 8 hours and was talking to the girl. She didn't even want him to come. And he was talking to her. See what you made me do? See what you made me do? You making me have to drive freaking 8 hours. He drove 8 hours to put pause on that girl. And that ain't no joke, man. You already seen it. He drove 8 freaking hours and the girl didn't even want him to come. Yeah, and then she called the police and he gonna pretend like he called the police the next day. Cause see why when she called the police, I believe he had her like this. That's my thought, right? That's me. Cause she couldn't even tell him. Cause every time they asked her what was the apartment number, she could never say that part. But she could say a little of the other stuff, but that part, and you could hear, man, that tripped me out. Y'all, that tripped me out. Yeah, and it's making it so bad for Diddy, man. Boy, and then he had the nerve to make I know we did BJ, y'all seen, so I can still keep talking, okay? I need to put etc. I'm gonna put etc. in the title and other stuff or some, but anyway, that Joker made a short. Did y'all see that short he made where somehow, I know it was AI though, but it was still his face and Diddy face. He made his head go back and Diddy poured what the AI, y'all, poured a drink in his mouth and he opened his mouth and was smiling while Diddy poured the stuff in his mouth. And then he did some kind of back thing and then Diddy jumped on it. You know what I mean? It was just weird. And if you ever see, because Mr. Lowdown got a picture in his house, somehow, hey, be careful who you keep company with. But anyway, in the house, oh girl, his back on the side is about that darn wide. About that stomach, back. Okay? If he breathe, it's gonna smack, right? That thin. But anyway, God, please don't get me. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry, but I am still upset the way he was acting. That he need to be off the streets. Y'all, he need to be off the street for real. But he got this picture hanging on it's like a rug, like picture hanging on his wall with eyes on it. And then the middle is the one eye. Then now he the one always doing this, the devil horns. He always the one doing that. And I'm like, I don't pay stuff attention until somebody actually say that's the rabbit horn. I mean, what is devil horns? Devil horns. And then they say he was disrespecting domestic violence, Purple Heart. The Purple Hearts. Right? That's the domestic violence color. I didn't know that, but I seen this man, but I don't know if he'll let me do his video, do a reaction. So I'm gonna have to. I like to email the people before I do a reaction on a video, cause I can't do no darn whatchamajiggle. But yeah, y'all, Ratchet worked at a nursing home and man, I can't believe he out of jail. But I don't know. He got to go to court. I think the end of this month or the beginning of next. Just go to Miss Lowdown's page. She got it. She said so. She said she had lawyers like emailing her, wanting them like when he went off on Tisa. They got that. When he went off on her, I thought somebody was coming to my house. They got they got a bunch of evidence, a bunch of females that wrote in on, man. Yeah, because that second time when he came to New York, he got permission from the bond people, right? But see, you remember he left New York and went back home for something. Then he came back. He didn't ask him that time, and that violated. Because he went home and then left again. So they looked at that as 2 trips, which it was 2 trips. But anyway, he go to court, and I just hope they do him like they doing Diddy, because he is a Diddy. He surely is a Diddy. He talking about, y'all can't make none of these black women leave me because I'm ratchet and I'm against domestic violence and all of this, all of that. He kept saying all that. And then on the second half, now this that man that I wanted to reaction to, but I don't know him. And so after he said all what he had to say, she said, "Oh, is that how it was when I told you that I was prego and you didn't want me to? So I had bruises from my ribs to under my breast, and then my throat was swollen so big I couldn't talk." Yeah. Now I saw that I better do a reaction to it, right? But anyway, I'm gonna email the man. I'm gonna email him and see if he'll let me do a reaction to it. Yeah. Anyway, but I had to tell y'all what Ratchet said about us black women, because yeah, I went over Ratchet when I first started looking at YouTube before I even thought of a channel. You know, you looking around, so I was like, oh, okay, they doing the Mo 3Ks, the stuff like that. I like that, watching them solve it and hoping they catch the people, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I like that. So, and that's when he went after Miss Lowdown. I ain't know, cause he got mad at her because she had more followers on the Mo 3K than he had, and he got mad at her, and he sent somebody for her. That's how she learned of him. He sent somebody for her. Like she said, he put a HIT on her like that. Go to her page. You'll see it. You'll see it. All right, and that's my proof. I'm going by what she said, so it's hearsay to me. But she said it, and then that man said it. So I got to do a reaction so y'all believe me. All right. Yeah. So since Ratchet think all black women, so I'm telling all y'all black women that's with Ratchet, leave Ratchet. They're a woman beater. All right, I hope you two don't take my channel down, BJ, because this was really for you. That's why I put both of her names on that surprise witness and BJ investigates. And I don't know her fiance's page name. I don't. Because I watch her. But anyway, I hope I ain't make nobody mad. I hope I ain't make nobody mad at me. Oh, and as far as the southern accent, talking like a southern, what did he say? Trying to talk like a black. Anyway, look, us black people, we do talk and all. Listen at me, country black girl right here. Then if you go to New York, you got a city black one. Talk totally different than me. So BJ from the country, and that's how all her people talk. Cause we heard some of people on her show. Anyway, I'm all for that. I believe her husband. I don't believe BJ racist in no shape, form, or fashion. I don't. All right, so I'm gonna let that go right there, and I'm gonna let y'all go right here. All right, I love y'all. Thank y'all for coming over here, typing so I could see that I didn't tab the comment section. I see a new name, Sylvia. Deborah might have done something right. Hey, Sylvia. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I didn't tear it up. Yeah, I believe BJ too. I've been watching BJ for 2 years. I know 2 years. Yeah, and then Tisa 4 years. Yeah, Tisa straight. Yeah. All right. So I didn't tear it up. I'm gonna call my internet man Deborah. I'm gonna call him. All right, and I'll talk to y'all later, okay? All right, thank y'all. I didn't even know. I ain't think nobody gonna want to hear this story, but I had to help BJ. I had to do this for BJ. That's my friend. I call him my friend. I ain't never talked to her. I talked to Tisa, but not BJ. But BJ still nice. I seem nice. All right. So I'll talk to y'all later. Please hit the like, subscribe button, and I gotta go check on somebody very special. All right. Bye, y'all. Let's see.